KDE 4.8 finally landed in ZevenOS-Neptune and various other Linux distributions just like Kubuntu, OpenSUSE and Mageia and so on. So in this screencast I want to show you one of the cool new features, or several cool new features of KDE 4.8. And if you want to learn more about KDE 4.8, you can also go to the KDE website kde.org, where you can see an announcement for the KDE software collection 4.8. So let me first start with one cool new feature, an rewritten rendering engine for the default file manager Dolphin. So let me open up a folder here, and you will see two things. One thing is that scrolling, even if you have lots and lots of files and folders, has become a lot more smoother. This is so smooth. This is, I would call this ultra smooth. This is really cool. Another cool new feature is navigating by typing in the name of the folder or file has become also a lot faster, a lot easier. As you can see here, without any big problems, I have been navigating to my wallpaper HD directory to show you another cool feature in KDE 4.8's Dolphin. You have now dynamic rearrangement of files and folders. So let me just change the icon size and you will see what I mean. I have to change it to bigger, I guess. Here you can see they automatically rearrange itself if they don't fit in your window. This also happens when you just unmaximize or maximize your window. As you can see here, they automatically rearrange. Another cool new feature is that you also now have the possibility to see long file names, so they don't get shortened anymore. So as you can see here, I have a short file name and a long file name, or a long folder name in this case, and without any problems it's showing the whole file name, which is a very cool feature, especially if you have files with long file names. So this is, I think, a very good update on Dolphin. It works a lot smoother, a lot faster, and this is just, it's not a big deal in the sense of features, but it makes everything so smooth, it makes everything so good and well performing, and it just feels fluid if you use it. And this is, I think, a very good feature they implemented now in the default file manager, so that the overall feeling when you are using KDE is much smoother. So now another cool feature. Basically under the hood they changed a lot by implementing Qt Quick or QML into KDE. They only ported one plasmoid so far. This is the device notifier, so the only thing that I can show you right now. But if you test it right out, you will notice that the device notifier has also become much smoother. The transitions, the animation effects, all is very cool, and it feels fluid and smooth. And I think this is also pretty cool. No more bugs in this device notifier also. And yeah, this is pretty cool. Under the hood, as I said, they implemented Qt Quick, which not only allows you to now have this cool new plasmoid, but also to write cool new plasmoids basically based upon the QML language. And the KDE team has also added cool new API stuff, or buttons and layouts and scroll bars and so on, that are used by the Plasma desktop or can be used by the Plasma desktop. So you don't have to just simply draw them yourself. You can just reuse the KDE tools or the KDE API elements on your plasmoids written in QML, which allow you to really do cool effects even without having the desktop effects turned on. And this is also one very interesting new topic, or new feature topic in this case. Kwin has also gained a lot of love, especially for those of you who like transitions and effects. They have just, this is really cool. I think I have about 20% more speed when resizing a folder. So this little folder effect here, resizing it works just fluid. In contrast to the last versions, it's just fluid. And this is only one thing that I can show you, because the transitions when I open up a file and folder and window and so on, this has also gained much more speed, and the overall look and feel has become much more smoother with this new KWin feature. Then there's also one interesting feature I can show you for all those wallpaper and pictures lovers. Let me just open up this with the default image viewer Gwen view, which has gained some cool new features. One very important feature for me, because I very often hide this left pane here, is that I don't have this small semi-transparent hide button anymore. I have this hide button now here, big, just like a normal button, and this works just fine. I can just hide and show this left pane. But this is not the only cool new feature. Let me open just an image here. As you can see, it also remembers that you don't, or the last time I opened this image, I closed the left pane, so it will close the left pane again when you click on this image. If you view the image in 100%, you don't get any scroll bars anymore. You get this little rectangle here, and which allows you to scroll through the image, navigate basically through the image. You can also scroll the old way, with just dragging, just like in a PDF, dropping. You have this little effect if you get to the border of the image. You can see the mouse cursor is just jumping around to tell you that you are at the end of the image, or at the border of the image, which is also a pretty nice feature. And there has been also done a lot of work in the smoothness, in the smoothness department. Again, when you switch to another image, you can see that this image fades out and the other image fades in, which is pretty nice. This is so smooth. It's really cool. KDE in this 4.8 release has gained a lot of coolness with this fading in, fading out effects. Really nice. Then of course they also changed some things, just like the crop window now slides in from bottom, instead just popping up somewhere on the screen, so you have it on the bottom always, so you don't have to search it just in the like in the old versions where it pops around to the left or right when you drag this over here or something like this. So this has gained a lot. As you can see, smooth effects, smooth transitions, if it blends in, if it slides in. This is also pretty cool, makes the whole KDE experience a lot smoother, a lot cooler, and yeah, this is a pretty nice effect. Besides the effect, they also have some very nice features for those of you who work with PDF files and the Ocular PDF viewer. Just let me open up an example to show you this, because I don't have one by myself. Here you can see an PDF image, or an image of a PDF file. Basically, when you want to mark a little text in the previous versions of KDE's Ocular, you can see if you want to mark this text of a specific column, it will mark everything, because it didn't have column detection. In this new version, you have column detection, and it works a lot better. As you can see here, I can just mark those text passages that I really want to mark, and it has this ultra cool column detection. And I think it's the first, or one of the first apps in the Linux world which offers this column detection and advanced marking of text in PDF files. I think this is pretty cool, pretty handy, especially if you're working with such PDF files. So the next thing that I want to show you is the power management feature that has been reworked. Let me open up my battery monitor here and go to the settings. As you can see here, they get basically rid of the whole power profiling stuff, so you don't have the option now to create your own power profile anymore, but you only have 3 power profiles. So it has become a lot easier, I guess. At least in my case, I'm now having 3 power profiles on AC power, on battery, on low battery, so very strict, very clean in this case. Why should I have more? The cool feature is that you have the option to just stick those settings that you take to one activity. So if I show you the activities here, if I switch to the activity photos activities, for example, I can set that display brightness to high and dim is turned off, and then I can switch to my standard Neptune and say dim is on for this activity, but in my photos activities I don't want to dim my display. So this is also a pretty cool and good feature. They basically just smoothened out the experience when just setting up the power profiles and so on. They made it cleaner, they made it easier to understand for new users, I guess. This is pretty cool. They have some advanced features here. You can set configure notifications, for example, to configure notifications when, for example, an internal power management system error appears. You get some message and you get a nice tone, ringtone or something like this. When you are running low on battery, you can turn on this. But this is also not a new feature, but they added it into the settings so that you can easily find this notification configuration setting for the power management. Under the hood, they also did something very cool. They added a new basic password management and password management tool, basically. K-Secret Service it's called, and it's replacing the K-Wallet Manager, and it has the advantage that it's cooperating basically with the GNOME Secret Service service. So GNOME has also an password manager, and they are also switching to use the Secret Service libraries, and KDE also is now using the Secret Service libraries, so that you have the interoperability between GNOME apps that use the GNOME keyring manager and the KDE apps that are using the Key Secret Service, as they are both using the same underlying or the same service underneath their tools. Also, one cool new feature is in the default text manager, Kate, or text editor, Kate. They added a new search and replace option or feature. They basically rewritten the search and replace feature so that you can now search and replace in various different files. So let me just go to replace here. So you have the option then to select only match cases and so on. You have also the option to see if you replace something or if you've changed something in the file from another editor or something. You can see those changes also in this new Kate. And of course, they have improved the VI mode in Kate, so the geekiness, or the for those of you who like VI, they can now even have better support for the VI mode in Kate. Then there's also one very significant update in Marble. Marble is the kind of Google Earth replacement for KDE, and let me show you this, because this is so sweet. This is one of the best applications I ever see. I've ever seen, and this application not only runs pretty smooth and pretty cool on my desktop, it runs the same way with a different navigation layout on my smartphone, on the Nokia N900 and on the Nokia N9 as well, and the N950. This is really a cool application, and this allows you now to use it has an integration into the KDE desktop. So if you press Alt F2, this little K-runner pops up, this window, and you can now just indent the coordinates of some of the coordinates on the Earth, basically, and it will then automatically open up Marble to these coordinates and navigate to these coordinates to show you where these coordinates are located. This is a pretty cool new feature, but in Marble itself there also are pretty new features that I want to show you right now. So let me go to, I think it was View. You have now the option to turn on satellites. So this will show you all satellites around the Earth. As you can see, there are lots of them. And if you have luck, you will also find the ISS here somewhere. I guess they put it in here. As you can see, also a very nice smooth transition. If I just just dragging the Earth here around. You can see it's just still turning even if I have stopped clicking or stopped dragging. Very, very nice, very cool. So this is Marble basically. This is so cool. You now have the option to click on this satellite here, and you can click on satellite information, and you will get some informations like the NORAD ID. You can get the perigee here, 760 kilometers, 760,000 on the, no, 760 kilometers, I guess. The period, 100 minutes it basically takes. You have some Wikipedia entries here for this satellite. In this case, they don't have any. So let me search for a more popular, if I find someone, which I know. There's so many, but this is a really, really cool new feature if we want to explore the satellite system on the Earth. And of course, Marble still has the option to change the map view to an OpenStreetMap if you want to see. Let me go to Europe here, because I'm located in Europe. You might heard it from my accent. And you have this different maps here, just like, for example, where is it? The public transport map, which is very, very cool. I found it by just going to File and Download Maps, which allows you to download lots and lots of cool new maps for Marble. And for example, historical maps also from 1786, for example, how the world looked like. A bicycle map if you want to cycle around the world. You have a bicycle map here, and a hike and bike map, moon map. You can also travel to the moon basically, at least with Marvel, and you can see the different moon maps here from 1645. The moon elevation on Earth, I guess it is. Moon elevation. No, color-coded elevation data of the moon. The Mercury, you have the possibility to go to the Mercury, Venus, Mars. This is pretty cool. This is one of the best free software tools out there, I guess. So let me show you this public transport tool. Let me go to my home city here, Cologne or Köln, how it's called. And you can see here that it's showing basically the different the train lines basically for the different trains. I'm not sure if it shows also the bus lines. No, there are train lines. So the yellow ones are basically trains driving through the outer city, and the blue ones are basically the inner city train lines that connect the various different suburban regions in my city. And let me go to the main station, the Hauptbahnhof. Here you can see, if you zoom in, this is pretty nice. You even get the platforms here. So the platforms you can see here. So if you want to travel to Cologne or something like this, and you want to know on which platform you will most probably arrive, you can see this here by just, it's a little bit hard to see I think, but here's the ICE 10, RE1 and so on. You can see the different platforms and where the trains arrive. This is a pretty cool map, especially if you want to travel around Europe, but I think, let me go to United States, I guess. Yeah, there are also at least some parts are categorized for the US, just like New York. So zoom in, you can see that you get more and more information here. So this is pretty cool, I think. Pretty nice. And they have some historical maps, as I told you, just like the historical map from 1689. So let me just turn off satellites here. It doesn't make any sense to see satellites. As you can see, a very prehistoric this map, and you can see Gallia, basically. This is also pretty nice for those of you who want to see how those different countries were named. Just like, for example, Polonia instead of Poland. Finlandia. That might be because this is in another language. This map. As you can see here, there was Hispania in Middle America. Is it Middle America? Yeah, I guess. Such a sea. So very, very nice, very, very interesting. Marble, a very, very cool tool in KDE 4.8, also available. And I would say try it out. This is one of the best features, I guess, of KDE, especially in the education part, but also in the part if you are really, really interested to travel to the moon, or to travel to another city, to travel to your friend or something like this. You have OpenStreetMap, you have the moon card, the moon map, you have the various different maps here, and this is, I think this is just marvelous. So this is basically everything for this screencast. I hope you enjoyed those short view on KDE 4.8, and you can get more information again if you go to kde.org. They have an announcement here with all the cool new features explained in more detail, and the enhanced interoperability and touch-friendly components, for example. And this is pretty nice, pretty good. So try out KDE 4.8.